Hey y'all, good evening, everybody.
Hey,
How are
Val.
you all doing?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Good evening, all.
Should we give folks a minute or two, or should we go ahead and call the meeting to order?
Well, Madam Chair, if you have a quorum, you can get started.
Okay,
Even if you don't have a quorum, get started at 6 o'clock.
okay.
I don't know if we do yet, Valen. And you may, I'm not sure if Sherrod's able to be here, you might want to wait a second just for that.
Thanks, Leo. Yes, we have 7 folks on right now.
Quorum, go, go, go.
All right. You have a quorum.
Okay. Let me go back to the right window. Okay, good evening, everyone. I appreciate you all joining us for our September Citizens Advisory Committee meeting this evening. And I will go ahead and call our meeting to order. And we will have our Secretary, Sherrod, to do our attendance.
Good evening, everyone. Give me 1 second as I'm pulling up our roster.
Sure. Was someone saying something?
Okay. Well, when your name is called, please respond by saying present or here. Valen Alford,
Present.
Rashaki Furnace, Sherrod Johnson, I am present. Leah Efford Green,
Present.
Robert Brown, Ahmed Ali, Alicia Curry,
Here.
Amy Jones, Brian Langloss,
Here.
Matthew Muntean, Richard LeBennett, Seth Kendall,
Here.
Shonda Wilson, Jennifer Ganzer,
Here.
Tori Cook.
Present.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Sherrod. Sherrod was able to send the August minutes earlier today. And we are sorry. He sent out the August minutes earlier today, and we needed to review and approve them. Did anyone have any feedback for the August minutes? We've noted we'll be sure to add the link for the August meeting, and then we'll include the presentation, on the homeless presentation that was given to us. Are there any additional comments for the August minutes? Okay. Can we get a motion to approve the August minutes with the edits that were noted?
Seth Kendall, motion approved, edits as noted.
Thank you, Seth. Can
I'll
anyone?
second.
Thank you, Brian. So the minutes for August have been appropriately motioned and seconded with the edits discussed. Thank you very much. Next on our agenda. Sorry, y'all. I'm such a tactile person. I meant to print this earlier. Okay, so
Sorry, Valen.
next, what'd you say?
You'll still need to vote to approve them.
Oh, thank you. Come on,
Sorry.
Brian. See, teamwork. Thank you so much. Okay, I was almost there. Okay, so can I have a vote? Can we how do I say this? Can we vote to approve the minutes, the August minutes with the suggestions, the edits that were mentioned? All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, thank you, Brian. Almost. Gosh darn it, next month. Okay, so next we will have a community development department update from Reginald.
Greetings, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Just want to give a few things that are going to be going. Next is a groundbreaking that we are planning for October the 23rd for Southside phases 3 and 4. 100 units. We should have that going out this week in terms of a save the date with the invitation to follow. 2 weeks later, you all be included on the list. What we're working on right now, and the invitation list, what we're working on right now is working on closing our ARPA projects. We have everything set for all of the projects. So there's last two to close in November. We're really proud of that. That's the total of the $27 million from the city and the county that are used to create additional affordable housing. We're also, our caper is on display for you to view. That's basically Maggie can tell you a little bit about it, but I just call it our report card that is on display, public display now. And so she might offer a few comments about that. And then I think it's probably a time for us to have the Housing Authority to come. So I'll be talking with the executive committee about the Housing Authority to give an update. They are working on Billet A, which should close in the next probably 30 to 60 days, which is the next phase of projects for the Choice Neighborhoods Initiative grant. So I'll stop there. Well, no, I'll actually mention that we do have an RFP coming out toward the end of the year with several funding sources in it, including some dedicated housing fund and some bond funds, as well as our entitlement funds. Should be forthcoming probably in the next 60 to 90 days. Maggie, do you have anything that you wanted to add?
Yeah, thanks, Reginald. Good evening, everyone. So Reginald stated our CAPER, so that's our Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, is available for public comment. It's a 15-day public comment period prior to submission to HUD. We will be submitting at the end of this week once the public comment period concludes. Just a quick summary, that report really highlights and outlines our CDBG and our home entitlement funding sources. The ESG or Emergency Solutions Grant and the HOPWA grant, they have their own kind of unique capers. They are referenced somewhat throughout the report, but it is more so focused on CDBG and home, those two entitlement funding sources. So we will be moving forward with submission following that public comment period. And Reginald, that's all I had. Pending any questions?
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. That concludes our report update. You can end it over.
Thank you, Maggie and Reginald. Before we move on, any questions? Okay, perfect. Next, we will be discussing the 2024 and 2025 CAC meeting schedule. Maggie, did you send it to everybody? Okay.
I did not, but I can pull it up and then send it out.
Please, if you don't mind, I apologize.
No, not a problem. Give me one moment. All right, hopefully you're able to see my screen with the schedule.
Yes, we can see it. And so you all will see this starts for January 2025. So one thing that we had discussed last week, although this is for 2024, this is for next year, we thought it may be helpful to just have the dates that also mention for the rest of this month. So I think we'll have the December meeting. Is it the week earlier for December 20, or is it no December meeting for this year for 2024?
Usually we vote to cancel the December meeting.
Okay. Well, should we vote to cancel the December meeting now?
So I will add, Valen, I believe it already was voted upon.
Oh, okay,
and I
okay.
have
That
it
was from the
when it was
last year.
developed. Correct.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
This is for 2024 is our current calendar year.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to, Valen, if I remember correctly, vote at the June meeting because we didn't officially vote earlier on July. So I think if we just do the July and December for like whatever calendar year we still need them on, like next year together, like in the future, because the December one was clear, but if I remember correctly, we had to vote on July like in person.
Okay. Okay. So adding that, adding those into the conversation for the future. But for next year, there is no meeting in December, no meeting in July. Otherwise, these are the dates that we'll be meeting, which is typically the fourth Monday of the month. I don't think there's anything we needed to vote on, right? This was just a point of discussion.
Let me just clarify, have we voted on the calendar previously? I'm not remembering. Well, Madam Chair, I suggest that you vote to approve the calendar. That way we can give it to the clerk.
Okay. So let's take a vote on approving the calendar for 2025 as presented. Does anyone move to approve the 2025, sorry, CAC calendar as presented?
I'll
I'll
move
make
to
a mo-
approve. Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Sorry. This is Jennifer Ganser. I'll make a motion to approve the 2025 calendar as presented.
Thank you, Jennifer. And Brian, did you want to second that?
Yeah, I'll go ahead in a second.
Thank you. All in favor of approving the CAC calendar for 2025 as stated, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Say nay. All right, thank you. So we have appropriately motioned and seconded and approved the calendar for 2025. And we'll be sure to share that with everyone so you can mark your calendars. Maggie did send out the calendar invites through the rest of 2024 earlier this year, which is earlier, a couple months ago or last month, which was very helpful because we had previously gotten them several months in advance. And I think a lot of us were having trouble finding them on the day of. So the way Maggie has set it up, we all have them already. And you should be receiving a reminder about an hour before, the meeting. Hey, Shonda, I see your message, and I do believe the retreat is the next item on our agenda. So our agenda, the next item is our in-person retreat for CAC for this program year. And it was a close vote. We had I think 10 votes for October 5th and 9 for October 26th. So we will proceed with the CAC annual retreat on October 5th at the Community Development Department, which is in about 2 weeks. So we'll be sending out a reminder for the annual CAC retreat. So go ahead, Lynn.
What time is that meeting? What time is the retreat?
We
8:30.
generally, oh, go ahead, Bradshaw.
It's at 8:30 a.m.
Oh. Okay, and then 8:30 to, I thought last year I said like 8:30 to 1:30. Is that like the same time?
Yeah, same time.
Okay, thanks.
And just to caveat as well, we will be feeding folks. So when, like Valen had indicated, we'll send out some details. People can respond confirming their attendance and if there's any dietary restrictions. So we can ensure folks are adequately fed breakfast and lunch for that event.
Thank you. Yeah, it honestly, because it was almost 50-50 among the folks who voted. The majority of folks voted, but not everyone. But of the folks who voted, it was pretty split. So that's why we're going with the 5th. And also the 5th was a good date because if something happened on the 5th, we could always fall back to the 26th as a 25th for that last weekend, as opposed to scheduling for the last weekend and not being able to make it happen. So Shonda, I do see your comment that you won't be able to make it. In the past, we have recorded that retreat. Reginald and Maggie, are we able to record it, or did we record it, or was it a virtual option?
So I will add to, I got some clarity for our spring retreat. If the meeting is in person, it's in person and not recorded.
Okay.
Yeah, that was guidance from the city clerk's office.
Yeah, the previous year, Valen, we had done a hybrid, and that's why we could record it.
Oh, gotcha.
And I think Shonda's point about the 4th. So Shauna and all, it looked like on the calendar for 2025 that the retreat for 2025 will be on October 4th. Our current year retreat will be on October 5th. Both Saturdays, but just so that folks can, if folks want to put it on their calendar for next year as well, so that it's already there. That's what I gathered from the calendar. I could be wrong, but I love that y'all are going ahead and putting it on there. And that way we don't have to do a doodle every 6 months. I love that.
Right. Yeah. And actually, thanks, Leah, that we actually had that same point of clarification in the executive call. So yes, for this year, it's Saturday the 5th, October 5th. And for next year, it's October 4th. But so for those who are not able to make it in person, we will miss you, but we'll proceed with the retreat being on the 5th. Before I move on, any other thoughts, comments, discussion? Okay, I'm seeing a thumbs up. Okay, I know I'm bouncing between screens, so I just want to be sure. So the next item on our agenda is Community Development Week and establishing our subcommittee. Last month, we discussed the desire to go ahead and get a committee established to meet to begin preparation for Community Development Week next year. And so I can't remember honestly if I was going to send out an email or not, but I thought it'd be helpful to actually discuss in the meeting. I know Amy Jones could not meet with us this evening, but she did express interest in joining the subcommittee that's set up. So this subcommittee will meet to plan the efforts in conjunction with the executive committee and the community development staff. But this is a subcommittee that meets. Anybody who was on the last subcommittee on this call maybe want to share how you all met and what the conversation was like?
Sure. So pretty much we would meet, I think once a month or so via Zoom. And we would just, meet for 30 minutes to an hour and plan different events, talk about different things that we wanted to do. And then assign kind of like leads for each event, and stuff like that. But other than that, it wasn't too much. So I would encourage anyone who is interested to absolutely join up. It's not a lot of work, and it's not a lot of undertaking. So please sign up for the committee.
Thanks, Sherrod. Do we have any folks on the call who would like to be part of the committee?
Could I ask a question? Like, what
Sure.
sort of events do you do for Community Development Week?
That's a great question, Jennifer. So this year, and I'm probably not the best person to give an overview. So anyone else, feel free to jump in. But this year, we had a fair of community stakeholders. We hosted them during Community Development Week down at is it City Hall? And so we were able to learn more about how they use the funds that they receive from from the community development department. And then like basically like how does this go from community development to actually community members, and like what services are you providing? So it was good to actually interface with them in person, to see names and faces, to learn about the actual organizations, because I feel like with CAC we get such high level overview from HUD mandates and numbers, and this was sort of people and programs. And so that was one activity that we hosted. Was there a virtual event that you all hosted, Maggie? So
Yes, and it was kind of an information session for other organizations, entities, community members to ask questions about our federal funding sources. But to add to the National Community Development Association, NCDA, they kind of host and proclaim the week of National Community Development Week, and they have samples of different ways other jurisdictions and municipalities have kind of celebrated the week, whether it was events, proclamations, making of videos. There's a variety of things that we can do. And that's really the intention of this subcommittee, is to help kind of plan in advance of and leading up to, so we have sufficient time to make any administrative or logistical coordinations to support those events. So
thanks, Maggie. I think one of the things that the committee did last year, and Sherrod, I see you going to chime in there. I think this year, one of the things that they did was start brainstorming in terms of what other community develop or citizens advisory groups have done. And so some people were doing like community tours to see properties. I don't know why my brain is scatterbrained tonight. I'm sorry, but they had done like community tours. Like it was very robust, and so I think the point of us establishing a committee was to sort of keep that momentum going, and to grow and build upon what we did this year, and to grow from there. But Sherrod, I'll let you take it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There is no set event that we have to do or that we don't do. We can do whatever we would like. I think this year we just wanted to get it in the earth and get it off of the ground because we hadn't done so in the past. And so starting probably in October to brainstorm and things like that would be great, just to kind of do maybe one more event than last year. Another thing that I wanted to add was, along with those events at the city council meeting last year, the committee was recognized, or the Citizens Advisory Committee was recognized by the city council for the work that we do, and things like that. And so that was another event that was scheduled and that happened for the subcommittee as well.
Thanks, Sherrod. Any other questions or comments?
Madam Chair, what we'll do, if we have a guide from the NCDA, we'll look to see if we can send that out.
Thank you. I think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
And when we send out the guide, maybe I can send out a doodle or a sign up. That way, after you review the guide and get a little bit more information, you can make more of an informed decision about whether or not you want to join the subcommittee. But the plan will plan to have the subcommittee framework established by our next meeting. And so at least we'll have a sign up to get the ball rolling. And it's a meeting where if you decide next month, I don't think so, but you change your mind later, you can always join. It's not you've missed a train and that's passed. So you can always, participate if you would like to at a later time. Thank you. Okay, moving right along. Next on our agenda is the discussion about the down payment assistance. During last month's meeting, we had discussed a desire to unpack the city of Durham's down payment assistance program. And so the city of Durham is helping people to purchase homes by providing, I think, up to $80,000 in down payment assistance. And so we had just discussed potentially having someone provide an overview to CAC during one of our committee calls, and then subsequently in the spring having something that basically was open to the public to join us so they could learn about the down payment assistance, learn about, the logistics of it and all of that. I do believe last month or maybe I threw it out that it could be part of the Community Development Week programming, but we have received clarification that because of the funding source, it cannot be part of the Community Development Week. But it doesn't mean that it still cannot be a spring event. Basically, it just would be a different month. And so we could still move forward, but I just wanted to bring that as a point of clarification. But today, one of the things that we wanted to talk about is how we can, we as in CAC, how we can support marketing for the down payment assistance program. Basically, we want people to know that this program exists, that it is open for people who are planning to purchase in the city of Durham, that there are requirements and so on and so forth. And so some of the ideas that we had talked about are, some of the ways that the program has been shared is on the City of Durham's website, the Community Development Department's website. Dr. Pullum has been on a local news show. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Well, I'll make sure. It seems like there are going to be a few items to share after this meeting, but Dr. Pullum met with us and did share that he has been broadcasting this program through various media sources. There is a commercial for it as well. So we'll share all of those things, but we wanted to have a conversation about how we can help citizens, and more specifically, this is my language, not community development departments, but how can we help everyday citizens? I'm thinking, a lot of people that I know probably don't know what community development is. So I don't know if they would go to community development's website to find that information there. But how do we help people know, even if it's that we drive them to that website? So then it's like, hey, everything is here. But like, how do we get, people who would probably qualify for the program to know that it exists, and it's available to them. And so I'll just kind of get us started. During our executive session, we had talked about, what was one of the things we said? I think I said but I was just like, I was just thinking out loud. So I said, what about if we put it on like this on a data bus, like, and so one of the things, one consideration is that the avenues that it has been shared already are cost-effective methods. So potentially marketing on a data bus may be more expensive. I don't know those numbers, but honestly, I don't know if I think that we can start visionary to practical. I think that's that's why we're here. But what are ways that we can help the Community Development Department and the City of Durham help its residents learn and utilize this program? I mean, I was like, now I'm not a budget person, so I'm like a social worker with hope. But I was like, can we do postcards? Can we put it on a data bus? Like, I'm thinking about like where my friends and family are, like I didn't know about the community development website until I started volunteering. So, I'm not saying that I'm everyone, because I'm pretty sure there may be people who are more engaged or more aware or something to that nature. But I'm just kind of thinking, and also thinking about people who may qualify. I don't know if there are income restrictions or not, but how can just a random citizen know that this exists? So I wanted to discuss with all of you and welcome your comments, questions, concerns, feedback.
I have a question for Reginald and Maggie. Is the down payment assistance program part of the Forever Home Durham?
Yes, it is.
Because they have a whole marketing team, right, with a name that rhymes that I can't think of right now because it's been a long day.
So if you're talking about Moss and Ross,
Yes.
yes. And so one of the things we've been talking about there focuses on the branding of Forever Home Durham, not necessarily program specific, but, and so what you have seen on data buses, for example, is advertisements related to Forever Home Durham. We are examining program specific for the down to payment assistance program. What would be helpful, is you think of how, as the chair put it, how you and your people that receive information that may be that qualify for this program. That would be helpful. We're just looking for ways to promote it more. And I think that's, one of the ways that CAC can help us. And then what I can do is take those ways and figure out, if budget needs to go to them, or you figure out something, that falls to my purview, not necessarily yours. But the brain power is something that I think you all can help, because you have different constituencies, different relations, different perspectives that might be able to help.
Thank you, Reginald. Sherrod?
So I know Deidreana Freeman is our council member liaison to the city council. And I know each Monday when they host their council meeting, there is the mayor goes around to each council member and asks, does any council member have a announcement or whatever it may have you? And I've never heard the down payment assistance program mentioned in a council meeting. So would it be possible to reach out to her and make that one of her announcements possibly every month for the city council meeting? Because I know that is viewed pretty highly.
I think
And
that's a great idea.
I mean, I know for a fact people don't know about it. And if I'm being completely honest and transparent, our city council might not know about it, and that's something that it's been a huge point of contention in our city council meetings over the last year or two. And so I think that would be phenomenal just for our citizens to hear, and our council to hear. So
Thank you. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, that's a great idea. And Sherrod is someone who has worked for local government for their whole career. Yes, it never ceases to amaze me what the elected officials don't know about that they should. So 100%. And I saw online, because I just quickly Googled this, there were like banks that perhaps like participate in the program or that have like liaisons. So I was going to say, like, I assume like we've reached out to banks to tell them about it. Have we reached out to realtors as well? And maybe seen if there's any like realtor groups that we could either, do a presentation to, or just even send materials to, so that they're aware of it?
Yeah,
Yes, and if you have some that you're able to do, we have done presentations to the realtors, the Durham Realtors Association. We had a big presentation earlier this year.
Awesome.
Maybe in March. And then also I had a presentation to the Triangle, I think it was the Triangle Realtors. But if you know other smaller groups, we can talk about that as well.
that's excellent. Thank you. One a thought that I had is about social media and sharing it on social media. I know a lot of folks get a core of information from social media. So I'm wondering, even if it's like the City of Durham's website and any additional stakeholders that they have, or if it's something that like maybe the bank partners could, share as well, and things like that. But I feel like, social media is a big market of, of reaching a big avenue of reaching folks.
Yeah, even like not a lot of money towards a social media ad can really boost it to people who normally wouldn't see it. And you can specify by geographic region. So that could help people like with who live or like have IP addresses within like the city of Durham or the county. I know something that they did for Forever Home Durham, and I don't know how successful it was. So this might be something to ask Moss and Ross about. But they like did some Hulu ads, which I thought would, because I think like they're relatively not as expensive. And again, you can really, there's a lot of local ads on that particular service if you're thinking about people who are younger, maybe in like their early 40s and down, who may be buying like their first home or moving here, and would need that information maybe in order to even make a decision before they got to like realtor stage, perhaps, about like whether or not this is the right time. And they have like, I don't personally have it, but I know they did a recent bundle with like Disney and ESPN. So that's like, I know a lot of people are signing up for that right now. So there might be more watchers than there even would have been like 6 months ago. But just a thought, like I know that also like local programming is important, like on traditional like cable or satellite TV. But if you want to get folks who are skewing younger who don't necessarily watch that kind of TV, a streaming service could be a good option. But I don't know what the money cost would be on that.
We're
Thank you.
somewhat familiar with those, but we can look into that. That's one of the things I was sharing, that having a program-specific advertisement in addition to the branding of Forever Home Durham. Of course, it does cost, but you know, I think this is a worthy investment to figure that out.
Thank you. Alicia, I saw you come off mute. Were you going to chime in? Okay. I just wanted to give you that space if you were. Another question, and again, just for the sake of brainstorming, I'm thinking about like they have like Durham Magazine and some of like the local Durham kind of papers, or sort of like those. Why am I drawing a blank? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like,
Like the independent.
yes, yes, yes. So, maybe that is an avenue as well. If folks have additional thoughts after the meeting, sometimes if you're like me, you have a meeting and then, afterwards you're like, oh man, feel free to reach out to the executive committee and/or the CDD staff. So myself, Rashaki, Sherrod, Maggie, and Reginald, and we'll be sure to compile all of these suggestions. And it remains an open discussion. It's something that's very important to us. And so we want to make sure that we are helping community development to really get it out there. We've had another suggestion. I know Dr. Pullum had mentioned using our own personal network. So those of us who are part of, homeowners associations and local boards, or if there are community meetups, as liaisons or CAC members, to share information about the down payment assistance program. And I think as a social worker, I have refined the art of getting people to the information and saying, I'm probably not doing it due diligence, but here's where you go for more information. And so all of us can be ambassadors in that way as well. Okay. We're moving right along. The next item on our agenda is a discussion about the conflict of interest forms, and I will let Maggie take it from there.
Thanks, Fallon. Just real quick and briefly, every year on an annual basis, all CAC members need to sign a conflict of interest form. I will be sending those out to folks who are new. But if you're attending or anticipate you'll attend the retreat, you can wait. I'll have hard copies printed for you to wet sign while there. But that's just an administrative item we need to maintain. So for our new folks, be on the lookout for an email from me with those forms. And there's still a couple, pre-existing members that have some conflict of interest forms to fill out. So that's all I had, Valen. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. Our next item of business is to invite the public to share their questions or comments. Maggie, can you let us know if there are any folks from the public who are participating?
Madam Chair, I am not seeing any attendees on Zoom. I'm looking at YouTube, and I'm not seeing any comments there either.
Okay. Do we have any announcements or any other points of discussion from anyone on the call right now? I'll just reiterate, I want to make sure I have our list. We will circle back the 2025 calendar for the CAC calendar, a save the date for the upcoming CAC retreat, an overview of Community Development Week with a doodle poll and sign up, and then information about the down payment assistance program. So not a lot at all.
Super, super quick.
Leah, I see your hand.
Yeah, super quick, Valen. I also want to highlight to folks, and hopefully folks have gotten the invitation from the city, that there's the city volunteer appreciation event on October 7th. It's a Monday evening before the city council meeting. No stress if you all can't make it, but just so it's on your calendars, let me put the information in the chat just in case folks, especially folks who are newly appointed. And then it's at
Thank you, Leah.
Is that only if you're a city appointee? Because like I was appointed through the county, so I'm assuming that's why I don't know about this.
yes.
Right.
There is a county one, so keep an eye out for
Okay.
it.
Oh,
So
cool.
that'll be for county appointed folks on, and this is obviously not just for the CAC, but it's for all the boards and commissions. So you'll get one from the county. I don't know when they do theirs. Sometimes it's around the holidays, but I'm not 100%.
Okay, cool.
Jennifer, if you would like to go, people who are invited do have the option to bring a guest. So if you would like to go, or I don't know if we have another county appointee, but I just told my mama she had to come with me. So you can relieve my mother if you would like to.
You know what though? The date sounded familiar, and no, I'm doing something with Duke University that night.
Okay.
And speaking to a class. So no, I'll be at Duke, but maybe at the county one I'll see you.
Okay, perhaps. So if there is anyone else on the call that did not receive the invitation, but you are a CAC member and would like to go, I'm happy to add you as my +2. So just let me know. But otherwise, I think we have concluded discussion on all of the items on our agenda for tonight. And so I will request a motion to adjourn our, oh, wait, pause, Maggie. Sorry.
Ellen, I'm sorry, I just wanted to add to, for county appointed members, we have 3. The county clerk's office stated that their event is in the spring. So you will see an invite spring of 2025, and I should receive that invite in advance of that, and we'll send it out to county appointed members.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Is there a motion to adjourn our September CAC meeting?
You don't have to do a motion. That's what's.
Oh, that's right, Leah. That's a girl. Next month, I am. I mean,
the power is vested in you. You can decide.
Yeah, but my powers combined.
Don't worry. I spent a whole year taking motions to adjourn meetings. So
and that was the one Leah always did, and I think it
was
the one
I always every time I messed up on it.
Somebody was thinking, because it's like, no, you can wrap it up without a vote. I like that. You need that. So with nothing further, we will adjourn the meeting for today. I appreciate everyone's time and contributions. We'll be in touch with the follow-up items well before our next call, and I'll see you all next month.
Wonderful. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
For everyone.